Jazakallah khair, Dr. Hamid, for an inspirational and enlightening evening opener. To continue with the momentum that has just been created, I'd like to call upon writer, poet, and speaker, our sister Amal Albaz, to share her powerful spoken word with us.
Assalamu alaikum. I always say this is the crowd that's going to free Palestine. Assalamu alaikum. One step closer, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. Bismillah walhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa hlul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, وَتِلْكَ الْأَيَّامُ نُدَاوِلُهَا بَيْنَ النَّاسِ. These days, we alternate them between the people. This ayah reminds us of something very important and something very powerful, is that there's no condition that lasts forever. Not victory, not defeat, not pain, not power, and certainly not oppression. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us that the days will turn. Just like this theme of the tides will turn, the days will turn, they always do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rotates these days to teach us justice and patience and reliance on Him. Today, our brothers and sisters are going through the most unimaginable days. But these days are not forgotten by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They are part of a divine plan that we are limited of fully understanding because of our human capacity, but we believe in it and we have full yaqeen in it. Because just as He literally turned the tide for Musa alayhi salam and his followers, when there really seemed like there was no relief, when there was no way out, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will also turn the tide for the people of our time today, inshaAllah ta'ala. He can and He will turn it again. But here's the question. Will we be among the people who help change the tide, or are we going to be the people who merely just watched it happen? What will we do with the freedom that we have been gifted? What will we do with the safety that we take for granted? And what will we do with our voice while we still have it? Because the tide doesn't turn on its own. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses people to carry this tide and carry this change. People who speak the truth when it's easier to stay silent, who use their voice and their wealth and their time for the sake of justice and the truth. So tonight we remember and we reflect. And so I ask that you listen with more than just your ears and that you feel with more than just your hearts. I know sometimes, when the headlines kind of blur and when the footage becomes routine and it's scattered all over our feed, we sometimes start to feel numb. But we must reignite this pain time and time again, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. And so I ask you, inshallah, to feel this with more than just your heart, because this isn't just poetry, this is our testimony. And inshallah, there will come a day when Gaza will testify for what it went through, and that's why this poem is called I Am Gaza, and Bismillah. If Gaza could speak, what would it say? Will the world listen or will it turn away? But like it or not, there will come a day when Gaza will bear witness to the crimes of today. I am the skies of Gaza. I bear witness to the crimes happening below. Oh, the countless stories you will never know. I wish my clouds were made of steel, solid and strong, so I could offer my protection when danger comes along. At least my tears can quench your thirst when I cry. After all, only rain was meant to fall from the sky. I am the schools of Gaza. Classes are canceled, my students have been killed. Their seats are empty, their blood has been spilt. They can destroy me, set me on fire and let me burn, but they will never destroy my students' passion to learn. I heard they take their books with them everywhere they go. I heard they turn their tents into schools and sit row by row. You can take the students out of the school, but you can't take the school out of the students. I am the mosques of Gaza. My minarets, once towering, now lie in shattered dust. Yet the faithful continue to pray and trust it is not my structure that keeps their faith strong. It's their relationship with God that they've had all along. My arches may be broken. My dome is now a scar, but they still come back. Allahu Akbar. I am the hospitals of Gaza. I have seen what I cannot explain. I have witnessed the pinnacle of pain. They swore I'd be spared, said I was off limits. My patients are scorching. Where is the limit? My patients are screaming, searing in flames. So tell me what's left of your rules, of your shame. Don't speak of humanity, not while I burn. Not while they preach peace, then fund the next turn. I've seen operations day and night in complete darkness with their phones as the only light, dealing with cases no textbook could ever teach, because the chapter on genocide is beyond the mind's reach. They target my workers, their vests a bull's eye, ambulances marked easy to identify, clear as the sirens, bright as can be, but they want us dead. Don't you see? They fear the hands that heal more than guns, because hope terrifies what hatred becomes. I am the streets of Gaza. I am soaked with blood, covered with rivers of red. I am now home to the displaced, both living and dead. Buildings crumble on me like houses of cards, and it goes on and on for thousands of yards. I hear the voices of those trapped under the rocks. I see heroes perform rescue missions in slippers and socks. I see community. I see love, even with hate dropping from above. I see them giving when they have nothing left to give. I see their smiles as they fight to live. I see them sweep me despite the endless debris. I witnessed the Nakba of 2023. Day and night, I hear the Quran. By every girl, boy, woman, and man, the harder it gets, the stronger they hold. They cannot break if by him they are consoled. There is no electricity, but still there is light. It flickers in hearts that refuse to despair. It glows in the silence of every prayer. What an honor for me to be the ground that these heroes walk on. I am the borders of Gaza. I ache, I crack, I can barely stand, disgusted to neighbor such cowardly land, surrounded by silence, betrayal, and fear, by leaders controlled by a puppeteer, by leaders enslaved to a flag not their own, selling their humanity for the sake of a throne. I see their palaces, polished and wide, while our children have nowhere to hide. Only good at looking horrified, but actually help. Access denied. I wish I could collapse so Gaza could break free when it's raided by land, air, and sea, but perhaps I exist to distinguish us from the rest, because the whole world knows that within these borders are the best of the best. I am Gaza. I am resilient, I am strong. I turn cries into songs, I turn pain into poetry. I stand firm by his decree. Where the bombs have scarred the earth, I plant seeds of justice and hope, what the world desperately needs. So let history write, and let tyrants fall like the buildings they flattened, once proud and tall. Let the world bear witness to all I've endured. Justice is promised, rest assured. On the day when all truths are laid bare, when every soul is called to declare, I will roar with every name of every child wrapped in flame. They watched me burn, they turned their face, but on that day they'll take their place. Their limbs will testify to all that they've done. Every bullet fired, every life undone. No excuses, no lies to cling to, no script, no handbook to read through. But until that day, I will not despair. We fight for justice here and everywhere. I see your signs, your fists held high. I hear your chants, I hear your cry. We may be distant, but our fight is one. So don't drop the torch until the work is done. We are not weak. We never were. Victory is promised, of that be sure. Didn't you read his words? Didn't you hear? Indeed, the Nasr of Allah is near. And barakallahu feekum, jazakumullah khairan. And a huge round of applause to the ASL interpreters who always, blow my mind with this. MashaAllah. Thank you for keeping up.